The populist movement occurred during the late 1800s. The rest of the country seemed to be doing well, but the farmers were struggling because of the financial crisis. Things were especially bad in Kansas, Nebraska, and the Dakotas because they were more newly settled areas and the farmers had just taken out startup loans with high interest rates. The South was hit the hardest with the financial crisis because they were still recovering from the social and economic effects of the Civil War. The developments in agricultural machinery made overproduction of crops a problem. Since everything could be grown and harvested more efficiently, there was a surplus, making the food sell for significantly less money, which was bad for the farmers. It was the worst between the years 1865 and 1890. The social status of farmers began to decline as people lived more and more in the cities and looked at farmers as uneducated. The populist group was started by leaders of farmers' alliances. They were a group of white agricultural reformers that wanted to fight for Southerners' rights by doing things such as protesting for the close of national banks. After the alliances failed to make any significant impact on a national scale, they formed the populist group, which can also go by the name the People's Party. Some of their goals were to increase the amount of money circulation in the U.S., create a less aggressive income tax, directly elect the U.S. senators, and implement other strategies that would allow poor Southerners to play a role in politics, economics, and business. The Populist Party became very popular and was soon represented in the upcoming presidential election, in Congress, and many other smaller roles in the government. The Populist Party participated in the Free Silver movement. This was a movement to try to get unlimited silver coinage to be given by the government. This was heavily supported by the farmers because they believed that the expanded currency would increase the price of their crops and would help Midwestern states because this is where the silver was to be mined. Silver became the symbol for economic justice for many Americans. However, the Free Silver movement failed when in 1900 the Gold Standards Act was passed, which made gold the main currency. The book The Wizard of Oz was written in 1900 by Frank Baum. He was born in New York in 1856, and he discovered his love and talent for storytelling in his 40s. Thus came The Wizard of Oz. The story includes many symbolic characters such as Dorothy, who represents normal, everyday people. The Wicked Witch of the East, who gets killed, which frees the Munchkins. This represents East Coast bankers and the freeing of the destitute Americans. The Wicked Witch of the West, however, represents the West Coast bankers who are still on the loose. Dorothy wants to get back to Kansas, which represents normalcy. Glinda the Good Witch of the North represents the Populist Party presidential candidate who tells Dorothy to go find the Wizard of Oz. Oz represents the silver that could possibly be found in the West because Oz is the same as the abbreviation for ounce, OZ. The Scarecrow and his lack of brains represents the farmers and their lack of their understanding as to why the banks are taking their land away. The Tin Man and his lack of heart represent the industrial workers and their lack of compassion toward the struggling farmers. The Cowardly Lion represents the politicians and the power they have through Congress and the Constitution to make changes, but they lack the courage to do anything substantial. Dorothy gets the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion together to go to the Emerald City and find the great and powerful Oz. In real life, this would be the majority of people going to encounter the power that silver could possibly possess. When they get there, they discover that Oz is a fraud. He is not a great and powerful wizard, but a small man without the power that people assume he possessed. Meanwhile, the Wicked Witch of the West's evil plan were ruined when she was melted by water. This represents the rain that ended the drought in the South, which saved many farmers' livelihoods and their land from being repossessed.
This video is a live representation of the common people, the farmers, the industrial workers, and the politicians being nervous to approach the idea of silver and the possible power it possesses.
Forward! Tell me when it's over. Come on. Forward! Tell me when it's over. Look at that. Look at that. I want to go home. Look at that.
The great and powerful.
I want to go home.
I am Oz, the great and powerful. Who are you? Who are you?